Hey, what's up guys? Another video from the Nova Scotia Host Shark. Glad you guys could take the time to watch the video. Today the video is going to be for when your offer gets accepted. So you've been working with your realtor, hopefully. You've been battling, you lost a couple offers, you lost a couple houses to other buyers. It's really competitive out there. But you finally got an offer accepted. So now what do? Your offer's accepted. What's next? So anyway, first thing you're going to want to do is tell your lawyer, email them a copy of the agreement. The same time, you want to email your mortgage specialist or your financing and let them know that you have an offer. Get them as many documents as possible. Agreement, any amendments maybe that might have came up right off the bat, a cut sheet, and maybe the taxes just to get going. And your real estate agent will know what to send these people anyway, but just kind of getting you more prepared for that anyway. So let those guys know, let your lawyer and your mortgage specialist know. Next thing you got to get in place is your home inspections. So you got your home inspection. Your realtor should have a list of a couple names of people, qualified home inspectors, a reputable home inspector that could give you a detailed, thorough report. Because with these home inspections, they're several $100s to get. They're not cheap necessarily, but what they do is they're supposed to give you a full-blown report detailing what's good and bad about the property. So especially with anything that comes up in the home inspection that you weren't already aware of, or you kind of have a feeling that nobody really knew about it, that's kind of a negotiation piece when you get into it, and you may be able to negotiate, say on purchase price, etc., before closing, due based on to those findings. So the home inspection's big, and working with a home inspector that has a good report to pass along to you is key, because you're going to be using that report in those negotiations. The other inspection that's gaining lots of popularity, especially in Nova Scotia, is a septic test. So a lot of rural homes in Nova Scotia, they have septic systems. So some of you may be familiar with just living in town and having essentially the city offer sewer services. Well, out in the country, there are no sewer services, so you actually have an on-site septic system. That system is essentially starts with a pipe going from your house to a tank. The tank fills up. The water from that tank goes out into a field. It gets filtered out. And then hopefully comes out the other end as basically filtered water. Those systems, depending on how old they are and stuff like that, can become aged. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to ask a good local plumbing company or septic installer to have a look at the septic field. Now, if you are buying in Nova Scotia and you are buying in town, there's a lot of what we call municipal services. So the only thing that you're really responsible for, kind of as I said before, if you live in town, they have sewer services provided, but you're still responsible for the sewer line from the house to the connection of the town's sewer system. So sometimes what you can do is you can inspect that line, and what these inspectors or plumbers have is they have an actual camera, a snake camera if you will, that goes down that pipe, and there could be roots growing in there, maybe it is closed off, maybe the pipe has collapsed. So there's a lot of different outcomes, and for a few $100s, it's worth it. Again, and if you find something, likely the seller doesn't know about it, so you can maybe negotiate some more depending on what your purchase price was and stuff like that. But anyway, kind of getting into the agent side of things there a little bit. but your inspections are big. So sewer or municipal line inspection and home inspection. There's some radon testing. I don't see a lot of it being done in central Nova Scotia, but down towards Halifax and stuff like that, I've heard of them doing radon testing. I don't do a lot of work down there, so but anyway, that's an option. You probably see Mike Holmes talk about radon and sell that product. What else is there? You're gonna also, for your financing, you're gonna need a water test. And typically what the bank requires is just to see if there's bacteria in the well. And that's with a rural property or a property that has a drilled well. If you have municipal water services, like town provided water services, then you won't need a water test, is what I've dealt with so far, and all the financial institutions are on board with that because the town is maintaining the water quality. But where you may have a drilled well, that well is just particular to your property, so they want to make sure there's no bacteria in that. So you do a bacteria water test, your agent, or you can reach out to a water testing company and they can do that for you. So you can test for bacteria, you can test for minerals, different types of minerals. Maybe the water's a little what we call hard, or maybe there's some other elements in there that you want to test for. Not going to get too much more into that, but water testing is also something that you need to get going. One thing to note with the water testing, and really with all these inspections, is that you want to get this going as soon as possible, because usually you only have, say, 2 weeks for your conditions, or the period where you're doing all these inspections and trying to figure out whether or not you want the house. It's usually only 2 weeks. So, maybe your contractor is busy for a week, and, if you don't get your water test in right away, you won't get the results back in time and stuff like that. So you got to watch that stuff. What else? What other inspections am I thinking of? You could have an electrician come in. You could bring a plumber in, probably $50 or $100 or something like that. You could bring those guys in just to have a look at what's going on there, just to give you a better idea. And that's pretty much it. So once you get all those inspections done and you've looked at everything, you may have negotiated some more with the seller, with your agent, depending on what you found, stuff like that. And then essentially what happens from there, if you're good to go, you're happy with the purchase, you would put down your deposit, and then the house would be marked sold, and then you would just wait for whatever closing date you indicated, usually a minimum of a couple weeks after you go sold to closing. The lawyers like to have a fair amount of time to do what they need to do to close the property. So anyway, closing day, that's the key day. That's the monies are transferred, the keys are presented to you, the buyer, and then from there you own the house. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is a quick video, trying to be quick. I've been really busy lately. I know this channel doesn't have a lot of traction, but I'm hoping even a couple people will maybe bump into this video trying to buy a house in central Nova Scotia and think that it's at all useful. There's always something, one or two things you can pick up from watching videos like these. So anyways, really appreciate you guys watching the video. I try to do this roughly once a week, and just kind of go from there. So anyway, more to come. Thanks for watching, guys.